who'd be better suited to be a model than a caster, to be honest.
Well, maybe I should consider a career change? Question mark? You're looking a lot prettier than I do, man. Let's be honest. Sapik coming in towards mid. Young Ninjas going to take an A-site approach. They had a really good start on the first half, but towards the latter stages of it, Fiend was able to capitalize on their mistakes and turn the tide of it, getting themselves the advantage when it comes to the serious streamer, though. Together with Han onto the A-site. Let's see if these two players can hold down the push. Dreamer already taken down to 9 points of health as he does try and fall back to it. They do connect heads one after the other. Nilo and Sapik do close them out, but they lose more players than they kill off themselves. Therefore, Fiend are favorable on the retake.
Sopping and Nilo, they've got a lot to do here. The P250 could favor close range, but the dual Berettas, they're missing. They're not coming out on top. But after a while, at least Bubble can secure the kill. That did get a bit dicey there. Sopic saw an opportunity, but unfortunately the window closed before he could reach his hand out. Fiend, they start things off strong on map number 2. This is troublesome, isn't it, Pavlos?
It is a little bit for Young Ninjas, isn't it? It's their own map pick, especially considering that Fiend can get away with the economical boost at the start. It's something that the Young Ninjas definitely don't want. Although I'm sure they'll try and deal with it, considering it was a 16-2 victory, 16-4 victory. Sorry, the last time these two teams met over on Inferno. I imagine Fiend have refined rough edges for sure, right? They're a team that definitely will look into the VOD, see where they've taken wrong turns, and try and correct them. And I guess this game is sort of where we'll see that coming into effect, because I believe it's just been a week since the last time these two teams have met. So there is some time for these two teams to like bounce back, sort of see where they've gone wrong. Young Ninjas definitely looked a lot better than they did on Mirage last time. Let's see if that could be the same case for Fiend this time.
I said it, Pavlos. It would be incredibly interesting if Young Ninjas can, or rather Fiend, can turn things around in the same fashion, but unfortunately we didn't get the first piece of the puzzle. I was kind of hoping that Young Ninjas win out on Fiend's map pick, and then maybe we can see Fiend do the same, but that's unfortunately a storyline that will go down the drain.
Yeah,
and
no cookie for you. Moving on to the side now. Red Star moves out. Rolf damaged. Red Star trying to hold things out. He's being completely chased after. It's as if he's a superstar and he's got fangirls chasing right after him, screaming out his name.
Can I get some pictures with you, Pavlos?
Give me an autograph! CTR. Though he's not as popular.
Not as popular as Pavlos. Man, do people stop you in the street and ever ask you for pictures because they think you're the footballer? Has it ever happened to you?
I've never had that, but I was walking down, you know, it was like a shopping street. I just went for shopping, really, and this guy just nudged his wife and just pointed at me, and he said, like, Zlatan. I'm like,
you're being treated like a circus animal. What's going on here?
And then, like, and then I was like, wait, what? Did that just happen? Because I'm used to Twitch chat mentioning it, but I've never had like a real life endeavor before that. So that was fairly funny.
I think after the Twitch chat incident, you just like lean into it even a bit more, you know. Instead of looking at the mirror, you look at a picture of the footballer and you just kind of make yourself look a little bit more like him, get the attention, you know. Speaking of getting attention,
to look a little bit more muscular though, a little bit more fit, because the guy is an absolute unit.
It's okay, we'll work on that when you get on land. You know, we're gonna hit the gym together. It'll be fun.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds good. Young Ninjas, though, they've got a buy round going for them. I think this is a really important one for them if they want to get back into this game.
Yeah, they're about to get control of brackets, and they will be left largely uncontested, especially considering that the one angle that Harn can peek in from, it's been smoked out. Two players playing from Graveyard and Pit. This is a masterful piece of positioning that Young Ninjas are going to have to try to push on through.
Dreamer holding things out, Rolf as well, but Dreamer to come out victorious on both ends. Nilo, though, he's popping off. Finds a couple of kills, third one as well. I mean, damage onto 3. 2 finishing blows, rather. ZTR won't be challenged necessarily. Bubble and Resta both were quite caught off guard in that regard. So Young Ninjas, they put themselves on the board quite quickly.
And I like that. The Young Ninjas can immediately bounce back because they want to have as much of a chance at Inferno as possible. I mean, we already know what happened last time. But I want to see if Fiend can get better than get a scoreline better than their last one early on as well. At least Young Ninjas have disallowed them from getting past 2 rounds without too much of a fight. AKs all across the board, and Fiend, I think all they're hoping for here is maybe a couple pieces of damage. If they can rush in from apartments, I think Nilo is about to have a world of hurt coming his way. 3 players on top of him. Oh no, they've caught him. There's no way he gets away from this. Acrobatics, self-defense class is working out for him because Victor's the last man remaining to take him down. Nilo? I just imagine like the Karate Kid, the Karate Kid just defending himself from 5 different angles, using the butt of the AK to knock them out.
I know you're mentioning Karate Kid, but I always think of Karate Kid when it's a 1v1. You know, this reminds me of the of a Kingsman scene. You know, when they're in a bar and he's using like his umbrella, but as you mentioned, using the AK barrel to sort of deal with everyone in the bar simultaneously. Yeah.
I remember that like very early on in the Karate Kid movie. I think there are a bunch of kids chasing him down. That's why like I thought of that. Like, it's not really a 1v1, is it, at the beginning?
Yeah, but he's never really successful at the start, is he? Because it's like he's got the hero's arc, right? There's a hero circle during a movie, and at the start you always start on a low point. I'm sure he wasn't quite victorious on that end. But enough about Karate Kid. We've got Fiend and Young Ninjas, although some of them may want to call them their senseis because they are insane at this game. Well, let's actually look at the replay first. It absolutely did look like the Karate Kid. You know, the snappy 180 turn, and he was like doing hi-ya! Awesome.
But now we finally get to see Fiend back on the weaponry. Maybe they can have some kung fu shenanigans of their own, and I'm going to restrain myself from putting in any Kung Fu Panda references because I know they fly right over your head.
No,
even
man,
after you've watched
on.
the movies. Even after you've watched the movies. What a shame, Pavlos. Just going to put an advertisement out there looking for a co-caster that can relate to Kung Fu Panda. Hit me up. Slide in my Twitter DMs.
Oh. I've watched the movies 2 times, I swear.
Well,
Young Ninjas, though, moving on to the A site. They don't care about the Kung Fu Panda movies. Han, though, looks to put bullets right through them. That's not Kung Fu Panda worthy. Young Ninjas. They try to retaliate, but it's a quick and strong hold from the Fiend side. 3 and 2 on the board. Now regain the lead after Young Ninjas 2-round streak.
A pretty decisive shutdown, even though Fizzy did make it a bit expensive there at the end. But Young Ninjas can immediately manage to bounce back. They've got the economy to work with it, and they even have, well, they don't really have too much money in reserve, so yeah, they are heavily banking on this. The Fiend squad, they've got the AWP in the hands of Harn, which makes him a particularly tricky prospect to deal with as far as Inferno is concerned. The amount of control you can have just by having a competent sniper, it completely changes everything. And that's actually one of the things I was thinking about. In the Tier 2 scene, I think star AWP players can entirely change around the outcome of an entire team's longevity. Just having a player like Harn, just having a player like Denislaw, having a player like Snatchy on your squad, it completely changes the dynamic. But as I say that, Young Ninjas, they're already creeping up into Banana. No rotations have been called in either. Nilo is the man that wants to single-handedly take off a pick, but he won't be allowed that kind of comfort. And as they're doing that, Young Ninjas, they start to second-guess themselves.
Nilo patiently holding on to that. It felt like he was reversing into the smoke previously, and I thought he'd be walking into his death. But I think Fiend just gave him a gift. Repositioning coming in from Han, trying to be a man to stop this push. Bubble, though. Ball-line bullet straight through his opponent. Sapek will be the first man to lead a charge as they do steamroll through this B site. Boost potentially to come underway. Bubble doesn't go for the full-on jump. Rolf anticipates. Fizzy retaliates, and now it's 2 versus 4 with Young Ninjas bouncing straight back up.
I'm a bit surprised that this is as back and forth early on the CT side, because I would expect Fiend to make it a little bit more decisive. But there's a good reason why Young Ninjas always like to lean into Inferno. They've had quite a few results on it. Even, I mean, this is something we've mentioned a fair bit. It's that Fiend did struggle on it last time. So, well, we're hoping for the possibility of Fiend having refined edges. It's not really too much time to do just that, right? I mean, okay, they were on a bit of a downturn. They didn't really have all of their individuals performing and whatnot. And even when you consider all of those variables, I mean, 16-4 is not something you want to get away with. But this is where we see a good old tactical Trustly timeout, don't we, Pavlos?
It is indeed. I guess this gives us space to talk about our Trustly partners. Trustly! But yeah, of course, when speed is the name of the game, Trustly is the place to go for online transactions that quickly flow from account to account in a safe manner. No cards, no app download, no registration. Just try making payments with Trustly. Pinnacle.com/odds, or you'll find the latest in-play offerings of Fiend versus Young Ninjas. Or remember that betting should be fun, so only play what you can afford. And keep safe. Our full terms and conditions do apply as well. Also, there's a nice little offer going on over at Pinnacle, so you might as well take advantage of that as well. 10 euros betting on esports over at Pinnacle. Using the code CUP21 upon sign-up can get you 10 euros in return. So go and take advantage of that as well.
That's got to be a spicy nade. Sopik already losing 7 limbs. Not sure how that works, so don't question me on it. Young Ninjas, they are slowly but surely gaining control of Banana. This could be a disaster because Fiend, they want to play this very proactively, and a flashbang is primed as well as the defense. Not swinging out just yet. Harn will serve as a distraction as they move in. Red Star is good for 1, but they haven't intercepted him yet. I'm not sure why it took so long, but now they're on the bomb side firmly. ZTR picks up Bubble. Harn makes it a bit more palatable as he moves in, wants to challenge from Cathedral, and now he has the info on the player in Emo.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, the 3-man stack from Fiend wasn't quite working out in their favor. Harn does survive it, but the trades did come through. Flashes did make it a confusing endeavor, at least at the start of it. Boost out. Maybe this time it will work out in their favor. Dreamer puts Nilo in the mud. They're looking to continue to trample on their opponents. No scope through the coffin. Still finds a closer. Took him some time. Hart can't claim this kill for himself. It's Dreamer to put that finishing blow down. Well, the bomb has been defused. And Fiend regained the lead. Lovely no script from Fizzy in the end to keep him alive, but that wouldn't be enough to give him the victory.
I like how that entire round was so chaotic, with Red Star not being intercepted for the longest time. The kill being so late, with Harn being able to find one in CT, just an overall mess of things. With Harn trying to get a quick knife in Hobbit, like, what is going on here? It's not very orthodox to see things like that, but, well. Fiend do power on through. Young Ninjas now. They've got the threat of a weak economy looming around the corner. If they do lose a round, this would be troublesome. Fizzy and Nilo, they're burning up. And although they might have equalized the numbers, the HP advantage is definitely in the favor of Fiend, but we all know how the T's can definitely benefit from having equal numbers. Now, the 2-in-2 split, do Fiend go for a strong side, weak side setup? I think they might just do that because they have only one player on the B site. Red Star, Harn, and Victor all 3 on A, but that's not where they should be.
Absolutely not. Smoke out. Blocking entry. Flash as well. Young Ninjas eager to get themselves a push onto the B site. Bobber holds his ground, but not for long. Sapik is able to deal with him. Punches him out of existence. One punch man, if you will. Fizzy. Need it down low as well. His hand, his limb is lingering off his body. Lingering? Is that the right word? No, it's dangling.
Dangling, yes.
3v3 though. Young Ninjas looking to hold things out. Red Star not going to make it easy. Harn won't do it either. ZTR holds things down all by himself. Looks to look below, but no. Didn't quite hide enough. He's too big of a man, and Red Star spots out his head and close things out in favor of Fiend.
I like how surgical Fiend were with their retake. Not making any mistakes. Have the molly to clear out Pillar and Emo. Have a player watching the crossover towards triple. And although ZTR was able to claw a few eyeballs out in the process, it doesn't really come to fruition. Oh, I like that. Love that little spray down. ZTR, I think if he stuck to his guns and tried to take the fight, he would have actually won it out. You can see the economy of Young Ninjas being pressured. Now, they're no strangers to winning out pistol rounds, but, I mean, with no armor, can't really give them too much credit yet, can we, Pavlos?
No, you really can't. And if you're Young Ninjas, you're hurting quite a bit now, right? Because you're down a map. Likely to be in a 3-round disadvantage. You've just lost the man, so that makes your attack a lot harder. Although the nades, that's going to be an explosive start. Oh dear! No, Nilo kills himself and one of his teammates. Ouch!
Ouch indeed.
I don't know if they wanted to make their deaths less painful and just like close around like that, but I'm sure that's not what they wanted.
Well, quickly just shove that under the rug. Move on to another round.
Sweep it under. No one see that. Hide it
No
away.
one saw that. Never had a conversation about this. Oh. Rolf, I think he's taking a quick nade to the knee. That's not the damage from the explosion. It's just causing an ouchie by directly impacting his kneecap. Can you imagine how painful it would be if you're in the middle of the battle and somebody chucks an nade and they didn't even bother pulling the pin? It just hits your kneecap so hard that you're like, man, I wish you just pulled the pin instead, but hold that thought because Bubble is the first to get taken away from the B bomb site. It's just Red Star remaining, but Young Ninjas don't want to march on forward. The galloping has stopped. But I think this is where the cavalry will start to move in. The smoke lined up for CT. Red Star trying desperately to delay.
Red Star, hold your horses. He's all by himself, and I think they know exactly where he is. Sapik, oh no, they don't. We'll give him space to move out of it as well. Repositions, holds back. Rolf does peek out, which does give him the finishing blow. Young Ninjas, they've got the numbers advantage. And I wonder if Fiend will go for it. No, they answer my question as soon as I make it. They move back on towards Library, towards that A site. They give up. Fiend. They're not able to get themselves a 7th as Young Ninjas get themselves back on the board for a 4th. I'd love to go back to the conversation about the nade being thrown onto a kneecap, because I imagine it must have been quite a throw to do quite a lot of damage, you know?
Imagine if somebody's just a shot put player or something and they registered for the army and their way of defending themselves is just chucking unpulled nades.
It's like, here, take it.
I mean,
it's yours.
Pavlos, you've been in the military. I mean, you've held onto a grenade, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's got to be heavy. I mean, it's made of metal and whatnot, right? Because I haven't held one, so I wouldn't know. So I mean, imagine somebody gets hit by it directly on the kneecap. The absolute impact.
You know,
I imagine it would be very similar to like
if it's thrown
stubbing your toe.
on a distance. If it's thrown, I don't know, man. It's not that heavy.
I mean,
you know,
but we're hypothesizing that it's like a shot put player that is throwing it at full force.
Yeah, if you're throwing it like a baseball ball, then it's definitely gonna hurt. but I don't know, if you're just lobbing it into the air, then
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely
guess
not.
the vertical impact won't really. It's more vertical than horizontal impact, you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we've had enough of inventing a new esport.
Nade lobbing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was actually thinking about that the other day. Why isn't there an esport where lobbing nades is like the primary objective? Because you know what, I'm actually gonna hold on to this thought for the next throwaway round because it's bit more elaborate than I want it to be. Victor will be the first man in charge. Harn, he wants to equalize the numbers, but he's being watched. Fizzy on the trigger. Dreamer, he's the one that can reclaim, but Sapik is narrowly tickling him. Dreamer can get around. He might get the 3-man lineup, but he's only good for 2. And they're already on the A bomb site. Bubble and Red Star want to recover. A nade near perfectly being lined up, and this is where the big question is asked. Bubble and Red Star, do they try to go for this? Because Bubble is in a prime opportunity to already move on to the A bomb site.
I think they'll give it a chance. If they get a pick, they'll go for it. If they don't, they'll move out. And I think there you have it. The decision has been made. And man, I just want to turn our attention towards where Dreamer was hiding within the smoke, and Sapik every so often was like looking around, looking behind him. He was a little bit delirious, right? He was to whether Dreamer was there or not, right? And he was wondering if something like that could happen. So he moves 2 feet, looks back, moves again 2 feet, looks back, and there was a gap. There was a slight bubble where Dreamer could have peeked out without being killed off straight away, and it worked out, you know. But I guess those 2 kills aren't enough, although that was a beautiful play from Dreamer.
Yeah, Pavlos, I want to quickly dig back into the thing I was talking about earlier.
Oh yes, please do.
My friend and I were playing a dumb flash game where the guns just basically did no damage. It was a multiplayer game, but the nades were so powerful that just being within like 20 feet would kill you. And we were like, you know what? I think if this game was made with the intention of just having nades as the primary weapon, it would work. But other than that, there's no reason to use guns because the nades are so goddamn powerful.
Fair. Imagine if you could have more than 1 nade. I think that would be
different types of nades.
Yeah,
like a little Bomberman situation going on, you know, like plus-shaped explosions. Something.
It definitely wouldn't be Counter-Strike then, you know. It'd be a completely different game. Man, I don't know, but for the past 3 casts we've had, we've always had like $1 million idea. Don't know what's going on.
And we're just really telling it to people. We're giving it away.
We might need to reconsider our career paths.
It's crazy how we get paid for casting, but we're also just making these startups happen in different countries because we're giving away $1 million ideas, right? We're like a think tank, but it's only made of 2 people, and it's like an empty tank where if you tap on it, you can hear echoes.
It's a think tank of 2 idiots just talking nonsense about games. Somehow it works. Although, Young Ninjas, you can tell they're under pressure right now, right? Because this is their own map pick. Of course, they've already found 5 rounds, but Nilo finds contact. Finds that too! Dream! I can't do anything about that. Nilo, wonderful stuff. How does Harn miss that? Does retaliate with the second, but Rolf is able to shut him down. 2v4. Sapek makes his presence known towards the other side of the map, but I think the choice has been made, hasn't it? A site being declared theirs. The flag has been planted together with the bomb. It's for the Young Ninjas. The equalizer is a lot closer than the horizon now. It's within reach. It's about to be theirs, and Red Star, he's got a good idea where Sapik is, so that's going to be an AK-47 save. But apart from that, that's the only victory Fiend get themselves this round.
Now, they don't really have too much money going into the next round, so even this AK-47, I don't think it can really be put to too... Well, it's not going to really be that useful. Maybe if they can have a bubble drop over a few deagles, they can still turn things around, but for the most part, this is not a terrible performance for Fiend, because I know that they're on the CT side and they have a bit more of an advantage, but at the same time, if you consider their past, if you consider their history, it's not really been the best, have they? Oh man, this entire round didn't line up for Fiend. The 2-man peek into apartments, it should have been theirs, doesn't happen. Harn has his crosshairs on the player, doesn't happen. So it's as if the stars simply gave them the bird and said no.
And now, Fiend. I wonder what they sort of think right now, because the equalizer has been found. They know they've got themselves this 1-0 start. Obviously, this is a filler, right? This is a round where they just bounce back. Hold back for now. Maybe try and bring something out later on. Oh, there you go. Sapik delivers onto Red Star. That's going to be the opener. Although the B site currently is completely open. It's just free. Go take it. Just walk. You know, this is basically the depth of this round.
Yeah. Do you see
it's
that?
It's not going to get any further than that.
And do you see Bubble moving in? Yep, that is the man that will be rolling out the red carpet for them. Yeah, not really anything you can get off of that. I like how Nilo got tagged there in the head, but it's through the wall, so it's only 3 points of damage. Imagine getting shot in the head, but it just feels like somebody flicked your head with their pinky. Like, huh, okay. But yeah, this is just a throwaway. The best they can hope for, maybe a couple AK-47s on their backs, but that would still be a pretty difficult case scenario. These P250s, maybe a USP. How do they get put to use? I highly doubt that they do.
Yeah, no kill found from the Fiend side. It's got to hurt. Really, only the pistols to be salvaged. But they've got a buy round going on. Young Ninjas getting themselves the advantage. Fiend. Can they bounce back? I'm wondering now, because we sort of talked about the prospect that both teams have improved on their mistakes on their previous encounter. From their previous encounter, if you will. But now, it just seems that the team that won it last time still is favorable, still is the one that comes out on top, but on a more closer scoreline. Do you think that is going to change in the next half?
I don't know. I feel like the T side is so much more powerful for these teams, and if anything, I would go ahead and say that because of the economy, it's being a bit more favorable right now. So for Fiend to not get that many rounds, I'm not feeling too worried for them just yet. Whether or not this goes to map number 3 comes down to how well Young Ninjas can play their CT side. Now, of course, it is their own map pick. It'll be a bit more well-versed coming out from them, and Fiend, they have looked a bit rusty around the edges. But just a few rounds could change everything. Red Star and Harn, with their double op setup, this has to be a bit of a surprise for Young Ninjas as they start to take control of bracket. But with the bomb being left all the way back, they have to invest a bit of time in recovering it. But soon enough, it'll be Sapik to join the battle, and the smokes have been drawn.
Heading now into the site, Harn. Big role to play here. Try and hold out one of these angles, but instead they throw down smoke. Oh dear, they're pincered onto the site, but little do they know, Fiend on hot pursuit from the B site rotation. Library being taken over now from Red Star, but 1-for-1 trade has already ensued. Nestling themselves in corners. Try and see if they can stay alive until the backstab has come through, and it has. Victor and Bubble, they put bullets through their opponents. Nilo, the only surviving player from Young Ninjas, already found himself one kill. Repositions for a second, maybe the third. Jumps on top of the box, Nilo! That is mad! And Young Ninjas, they take a lead at halftime.
That was a near flawless round from Fiend, but Nilo just changes everything around. The spray down was perfect, the jump up on top of the box, the quick micro level thinking from the man. Just look at that, the way he's gotten it done. Quick smoke, just... That's how you get a 1v3 clutch, ladies and gentlemen. That is a textbook style of play. I like how he repositions to something that's very unexpected. You wouldn't expect him to expose his whole body, but it does end up working out in his favor. And Young Ninjas, they want to keep powering on through with the lead that they've managed to get courtesy of Nilo. Fiend, they're probably feeling very battered at the moment. They had it under lock and key, but everything's falling apart.
It is. Does feel like that, doesn't it, Fiend? They've struggled a little bit now on the CT side. Movement towards the A site. It's open again. It feels like it's deja vu from a couple rounds ago, right? Where Young Ninjas found the B site, but now on the other side of the map. They'll just make this bunch of haystacks their own. Make friends with a few chickens here and there. Cluck around with them. Because that's the most fun they'll have this round. I don't think they'll have any situation where they'll be head-to-head with their opponents. Fiend went for a gamble there. They had weapons. This is the full enforcement of the buy, but... amazing to me, actually, is that they're actually going for this.
I mean, it is the last
They
round,
want to
Pablo.
approach
Come
it.
on.
Oh my god. Wow, I didn't look at the round score. Oh, I'm dumb. I apologize, but they're going to go for it. So let's see if they can actually do anything about it. Red Star, bullet through onto Sapik. Nilo on top, hasn't been challenged yet, but now shows his card. They line up. Pan and Dreamer, though. Oh, Dreamer closes his own teammate. That is not nice. Oh dear, Fiend, they're in trouble, they're in shambles, and Young Ninjas are able to close them out. 9-6 favoring the Swedish side as we end the half.
I mean, Young Ninjas, they've put on a stellar performance as far as the T side is concerned, but the question is whether or not they can convert. If they get the pistol, I'm willing to say that yes, they immediately go to map number 3, no questions asked, because you know how well versed they are on this map. Lots of polish that needs to go into the gameplay of Fiend at the moment, especially with how passively they played their CT side. It's not something you've grown accustomed to if you're looking at the Bulgarian squad, especially with the kind of players they've got. You know, Red Star and Harn never afraid to get aggressive, same for Dreamer. So you can see that there's a fair bit of hesitation when it comes to the Fiend squad, but maybe it's a bit different on the terrorist side. Moving into apartments, Young Ninjas, they have the perfect setup and the perfect read to deal with anything that might come their way on A. Rolf should be the first point of contact. Ouch.
Ooh, Dreamer, that was snappy.
Ooh.
Oh, snappy times 2. 3v5. Can you put it to a third point? They close up the gap onto their opponents there.
They're looking for him.
ZTR, it's alive! He even knifed a man! ZTR, you're a ninja or something, because that wouldn't have worked out for anyone else if they were in the same shoes.
I like how Red Star tried to go for a knife himself in the smoke, and ZTR is like, you know what? I've got just the same.
It's like he juked. He was playing Mortal Kombat, and he crouched to like, you know... There was the upper swing, and he was able to avoid it, and at the same time, like, draws his knife and punches it in his kneecaps.
Lots of kneecap hate going on here right now.
Yeah, it's
just
either
like
the
chucking
knife
nades.
on the knees, it's either nades. Ridiculous. I'm glad I've never withstood a kneecap injury, because I bet those are painful.
If you're squatting and you feel like a twinge of pain in your knees, you already feel the signs of age. Your hair starts turning gray and whatnot.
Oh, no.
It's the worst feeling.
Victor, as he makes his way onto the site now, makes his way onto the map, does completely murder a chicken. Becomes all of feathers.
I mean, if it was Minecraft, it would just be cooked.
Yeah, fair, fair.
But hold that thought, because ZTR, he's got a chance here to make things very dicey, and he's managed to get 2 headshots in the process. Fiend already losing out on 2 major members, so this is Young Ninjas' chance to still turn things around without too much weaponry on their side. Still 4 Deagles alive and kicking. I don't think the A side is particularly hard to crack, but you never know with the Deagle of Fizzy.
Moving on to the site now. Numbers advantage has been given to the Swedes, but you look at the economy and the weaponry at hand. They look to be favoured. It's like they're going round the roundabout here and they're missing out each other on either end, but Fizzy finally stands still. Allows his teammates to start closing the gap on him. Dreamer. I like the fact that Fizzy anticipates this. Could come out victorious, and he does. Ooh, that is interesting. 2v4. This is within the realms of possibility here for the Young Ninjas side. Double digits, perhaps. Get them to that third map, maybe. Fiends, depends how strong you are, and there your hold. Hahn delivers on one end, but now it's all up to Victor. Fizzy, he bought time. One shot connects, spray down, but Rolf is there. For that reason, Young Ninjas, they retaliate. Double digits now on the board for the guys.
This is massive, because where Fiend should have been able to immediately turn things around and bring it to 9-9, it's not the case. You see Young Ninjas waltzing on over to double digits like it's nothing. I love how ice cold Fizzy was in that instance. He knew exactly the type of decisions he had to take. Find the first kill, do nothing. Do not budge. If you try to go for the kill, it doesn't allow you to buy the time that your team desperately needs. And you know what? I do think that the star is lined up really well for Young Ninjas. You know, for ZTR to get the first double kill, for Fizzy to be able to pick up the frag and pit. You can now see the Fiend might be starting to sweat here on map number 2, but at least they've gotten that first map, so they've got that comfort to roll with. Moving into brackets, the Young Ninjas, they still have to deal with an onslaught of 4 players.
Spray down from Fizzy. Bubble out of it already. Repositioning coming in from the Swede. Red Star challenges. Beautiful swing. That's the only AK going their way, and that could be potential M4 to be picked up. But ZTR, not on his watch. Puts Han through the mud. Victor and Dreamer, though. Bounce back. Okay. Uno reverse card brought out by Fiend. They're playing a different game here. They're saying, we're the ones holding all the cards. Numbers advantage being given over.
I think Young Ninjas should go for a save here, Pavlos, because look at their money. If they get upset in the second round after they get an upset of their own, their loss bonus is completely crumpled, and it'll be very hard to recover from this. And you can already see that that's a thought that they've pondered over themselves, the IGL calling it out for it to be a save. And it's a bit tricky, right? Because if you get the upset and then you end up losing the round, it completely batters your economy. Your loss bonus is gone, you've lost your guns, and it's a chance for Fiend to have 2 or 3 easy rounds, and that'll lead to their own economy being bolstered to the point of no return. But at least Young Ninjas have an AK and an M4 to work with, so things can be turned around.
Absolutely. 1-9 the odds. Fiend still seem to be favored when it comes to the series, closing up the gap now on the scoreline as well. But I did mention the Uno reverse card, and I kind of want to ask you here, Wilderi, have you seen the new Uno game, Uno Flip?
No, I haven't. I mean, if you could teach me how to play the first one, I'll
You don't know how to play Uno?
It wasn't a big thing here. Please don't judge me.
What? What?
It's a knowledge gap. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you on stream.
Oh no. Guys, I think we need to organize something and teach Uno to Wilderi, but let's focus onto the game right now because of the push coming in from the Fiend side, and it looks like there's a good read here from Young Ninja, stacking onto the side. Oh, the deagles from Fizzy and Nyla, just 2 grand. Moving onwards, though, Han is able to bounce back with a kill of his own. They do aggress a little bit. They hold back from mid. It's just Dreamer now on the push, on the pursuit of these players. Chicken goes mad as he hears the bullets flying right past it. Dreamer moves back from apartments as well. It's as if they're lingering, wondering what they want to go for, but I think they've got a good idea of what they want to do. Want to take over the B site and maybe keep Dreamer on pursuit. Did he try and go for a drop kill onto the chicken?
No. He was just trying to mask his footsteps. But you know what? It sounds cooler if you say that, yeah, he tried to go for a 360 chicken scope or whatever.
Oh man, it's just too high of an IQ play for me, you know. Golden Over plays over here. I don't think about that stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I've gone brain
they
dead.
just masked their
Apologies.
footsteps by dying because they tried to fall at 1 HP. But I think we're about to see the push right away, won't we, Pavlos?
Absolutely, Han making its way onto the site. Rolf trying to hold things through. He's got a good weapon to do so. Dreamer, too dumb, swift and quick. Smoke brought out for them not to engage onto Sapik as he waits for his teammate to arrive. But Nilo, he's only got 14 points of health, and for him to go on the full-on rotation towards the B side, it would take him a lot of time. It's as if Sapik knows that his job right now is to delay, try and stay alive, maybe do some extra damage, but he has to back out. But he doesn't quite have a smoke to give him movement now towards site. He's going to have to take advantage of the current smoke, but
No, he's waited too long.
it's faded. He's waited way too long. And he's just going to wait for his opponents to like cross through onto Banana. Victor expects it. Pre-fire. Lovely stuff from Victor. His brain is huge. And the score will be 9-10 as the bomb explodes.
That's only 1 AK being recovered for the CT side. And that's what I was talking about earlier, Pavlos, is the fact that their economy will be crumpled for so long. It's only a 2,400 loss bonus. And Fizzy, he gets away with an AWP in the next round, but also not too much utility to boot. Unless he can maybe get a kill with his P2000, but I wouldn't really count on it too much. Nalo, now he has a big responsibility ahead of him. Maybe put that AK to good use, or perhaps save it for an additional round. Fiend now on the verge of double digits. I highly doubt that we're going to see anything that turns the tide off this. Maybe if this boost works out, sure, but Rolf is already being intercepted. That's the red carpet
Move
being
on to the
rolled
B
out right
side.
there.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it's not the first time, is it?
I think last time it was...
I guess Inferno is one of those maps that you just kind of go for gambles sometimes because it's the long rotations, right? It's sort of difficult to balance that out, and a team that has a good balance on that occasion has got good reads. That's where the difference is made when it comes to the CT side of this map. But Fiend are making it this work pretty easily in their favor. ZTR being challenged. Nilo expect him to fall back with his AK while the rest will look to do damage. Has Sapik been spotted out?
Nope, not at all.
I feel like he has. But he still gets one kill somehow. Okay, interesting. AK damage onto the other. I expected a second one there, but it doesn't come to the way of Sapik as Han is able to shut him down. So Nilo, he's going to read a book here in the library, or just... maybe not. I wonder what sort of books lie here, you know? Is it literature, scientific books?
No, it's just smoke lineups.
Biographies? Oh, smoke lineups! Ooh. A bookshelf load of smoke lineups.
Man, the long rotations on Inferno, it was something you mentioned a little bit earlier, and yeah, I think that's what helps teams that have solid reads succeed so much. Even if you don't have that much individual performance going your way, it can still be entirely counteracted by just having a big brain IGL that has all the right players in the right positions. But I think we should start focusing a little bit more here on Young Ninjas, because this is one of their big opportunities to potentially turn things around, as Fiend have started to claw their way back into this game. A 3-2 setup, one in library. Oh, this is a lot faster of a play.
It is indeed a change of pace that might catch them off guard. Rolf is ready for it. Spray down coming through, down to 10 points of health. Bubble tries to switch things up and get himself onto the site quickly enough. And Red Star looks to challenge as well. Hard delivers on that end, but it's a close fight either way. Dreamer finds the equalizer, but it's down to 1 and 2 either way. Dreamer, that's going to be a second kill going his way. And Fizzy is only just approached library, so the bomb will go down safely. If you want a man at a clutch angle, it's going to have to be Dreamer. Fizzy, not quite the impact we would have wanted from in this best of 3, but maybe he can close these out. He only needs 1 kill after all, but I love the repositioning out from Dreamer.
We've gotten so used to Dreamer clutching things out, but maybe Fizzy can be the man that changes everything. Fizzy's not checking it just yet.
He's not.
He's got a smoke.
Now he knows. It's all about patience. He doesn't have to peek it, Dreamer. Holds back. Fizzy knows that his chances have completely dwindled down near to nothing. Well, Dreamer wins a clutch without killing anyone at the end. Although he did get 2 kills in the process, so that's not really a fair statement. But 11-10, and Fiend regained the lead.
And Justice's presence on the Fiend lineup exponentially multiplies their ability to clutch, their ability to win 1vx situations. And yes, Young Ninjas have just the same, but right now, the Fiend squad is turning up on the server. They've won map 1, and they're oh so close to preventing map number 3. But you know what? I really do want to see Overpass, because it can get incredibly dicey. I want to see what happens when it can go either way. Although, with the way the first map went down, this isn't the same series at all as we saw last time. Mirage and Inferno, they were very uncompetitive affairs, but this time both teams have broken double digits on each other's map picks. Should be an easy peasy cleanup, unless...
Yeah, it's the read. They know. OCZ as well, why not? Just a little bit of that, a little bit of this, some salt, some spice, some pepper. Well, they'll have it. It's actually worked out. It shouldn't have. It was much weaker buy from Young Ninjas. They've cooked up a soup, and it's got Fiend's name all over it. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that round whizzed by like it was nothing, as if it was a throwaway round from Fiend, but what the hell did we just watch? And you can see that Fiend are taking a time out to recollect themselves, because they're like, okay, yeah, we were supposed to run on to that 12th round mark and stop Young Ninjas at the bare minimum requirement for double digits, but that's not something that happened. But what is something that should happen is that you should go ahead and check out Trustly. They are our payment gateway partners who need no cards, no registrations, no app downloads, and they can make your payments a breeze. Even if you're going to go ahead and bet on Pinnacle.com/Aussie, you can use Trustly as the payment methods. Remember, Pinnacle have an offer going on right now where if you bet €10, you can bet you can get 10 euros back. So that is double your money. Make sure to take advantage of that offer. But if you are going to bet, remember to bet responsibly. Only bet as long as you're having fun, and do check out the terms and conditions because they do fully apply.
Double up setup now from the Young Ninja side. Happy that their economical situation has flourished in a matter of run around. You know, they went for a small buy and eco, considering, let's try and do damage here. They end up winning it completely without dropping a single player, I believe. Or if they did, they only dropped like one. It's pretty one-sided. Fiend definitely not happy about that. Understandable. They take a time out to sort of splash some water on their faces. Slap themselves a bit. Wake up. Flash out, smokes as well. Some utility being thrown over to the B site, and the call hasn't been made for Young Ninjas to get that third player onto the rotation just yet, but now it may have. Molly to delay, smoke out on CT. They're just waiting for the fire to be extinguished. Ooh. Close here. Roll 3 positions. That's a gap through the smoke he can work with, but he takes a higher up angle. Might not be able to spot it through the smoke. Okay, Victor out of the equation instantly. Young Ninjas. How do they work around it? Smoke fades out, and it won't work out in Bubble's favor. Han has to draw back, takes some damage to his leg, but in the process, misses out in the shot. Trade out. Dreamer is able to retaliate, but the movement towards the A site has been illustrated.
Yeah, this is...
Fiend, how do they work around this?
They don't, because there's only 15 seconds, and they don't have the bomb.
Ouch.
Yeah, Young Ninjas have all the mobility in the world, all the comfort. All they have to do is hold on to this double op setup, and you know what? Young Ninjas have a legitimate chance at inching forward now, because look at their money, the pile of gold that they're sitting on. They've carved out chairs out of it. They're making furniture. $7,000 on average, with the exception of Sapek, who only has flies coming out of his wallet. Not sure why I would say that, because $550, that's still a chunk of money to have in your wallet, not gonna lie.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, nothing too much that he can use to buy up with later on, you know.
I guess in the context, it's not very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't mind having some $500 like extra lying around. Wouldn't be too bad, would it?
Hold that thought
good
while my
angle
duck
here.
goes crazy in the background.
Oh, Han peeks through. Nilo won't be challenged that much. Yeah, I think I follow your testament here, Wild Daddy. Young Ninjas definitely have a chance to like start running away. And Fiend's T side at the start of the half looked a lot stronger than it does now. It seems like the fact that Young Ninjas have been able to bring up their economy, and the fact that they've been able to shut their opponents down with a pistol round, has given them confidence and the economical funding to pursue this victory. And Fiend, it looks like they haven't got really too much to say about it, right? We need some wonder performances from these guys, and when momentum is at play, it seems like Fiend have none of it. Young Ninjas, they're the ones holding through. It's a wall that they've placed in front of their opponents, although as I do say that, Una reverse card. Not as if you know what that means, Wild Daddy. Because
I know what it means, okay? I can gather it from the context, but let's see if Young Ninjas can gather themselves and get this retake, because it's incredibly important. They should have been able to deny Fiend entirely, shut them down on the initial push, but this AWP from Victor, it can be very deadly, and Red Star still alive and kicking. The bomb ticked halfway down. Molotov to start things off. ZTR picked up by Victor's legging.
Ooh.
Nilo, now in a 1v2. You know how crazy this man can be on the retakes, on the clutches, but I do think this might be out of reach. Okay, Red Star can still be picked up. The quick tap on the bomb, and he's got a kit to work with as well. Red Star starting to doubt his decisions, but Nilo now knows that he has messed up. Pros shouldn't have faked, and that would have netted him the round, but Fiend, they run away with it.
They have. I didn't believe, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that would have happened, but some masterful movement onto the site is putting themselves right back on the radar. They've got a hand on the steering wheel.
Just one hand right now, though, because look at the money of
Yeah, absolutely. They're
still
both
have.
sharing it. It's as if like, hey, let's go this way, and the other person, and then the other team's like, no,
Not
no, let's go this
recommended.
way. No, very
You're going
dangerous.
to lose your license.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Cool,
I like
Snylo,
this
though.
bit of aggression. That's already
Yeah,
two
I do
frags.
too. Because Young Ninjas, they switched things up, and Fiend didn't quite didn't quite expect that, did they?
Yeah, not at all. I think this almost guarantees map number 3 because I'm not sure where Fiend go from this. They don't have that much of a loss bonus. They won't be able to afford guns in the next round. And Young Ninjas, they have completely dismantled anything Fiend might have thrown at them. And Pavlos, before I hand the virtual mic over to you, this is the kind of gameplay that I feel was missing from Young Ninjas when we saw Mirage.
Yeah, potentially. Though we did see moments where ZTR aggressed, it feels like he wasn't quite comfortable on it. And I'm not quite surprised. There were a few misplays that he's had recently, so that could have hurt his confidence. But I'm sure we'll be looking to bounce back. Because ZTR is one of those aggressive players on the Young Ninjas side. I don't think many of them, the rest of them, are really eager to go for something too greedy. But I guess confidence comes with time, right? Being such a young team, you want to make sure that your defaults work out, and when you're ready to switch things up, then that's what can distinguish you from the rest. Flash out. Han aggresses. Could be within the realms of possibility now. If they can isolate ZTR here before the rotations arrive, could be doable. Leg out onto Han. But the bomb goes down either way. 2v3. How good can this hold be? Fiend, considering where the rest of them can be, but it's the molly to close Red Star's life. What a way to fall. Burned to a crisp. Now Han has got his teammate's body burned right next to him. He can smell it. It doesn't smell too good. And in the meantime, tries to sniff out his opponent. It's not going to be an easy endeavor. Finds one. Realizes where both of them are. Tries to isolate them, but no. A little bit too difficult to deal with. One too many directions to handle. And for that reason, Young Ninjas, they're going to retake this lead.
That could have been doable clutch if Sopik was taken out. The man in apartments, it would have all been over because Sopik was the one with the kit. I think getting the kill for Fizzy and also recollecting the kit, that would have taken way too long. Fiend, they've lost their grip on this. Pavlos, honestly, I'm starting to feel like map 3 is cemented. Overpass is a done deal. Young Ninjas just need to sign this package and send it off because they've got a lot to work with. Fiend need an incredible upset with these Deagles to make something go their way.
If there's any team I want to trust with Deagles, Fiend is definitely up there, like one of them. Got some good rounds at their belts, but it's going to have to look dominant. It's even harder when you're on the T side, isn't it? On Inferno, going to the A site where it's massively inhabited by their opponents. But if you miss your shots, Red Star will be able to retaliate. Will be able to punish you. He's done just that. One kill goes his way as they try close in around them. Sapik, though, won't be challenged so far. Red Star finds himself a double and could be another rifle into the hands of his teammates. It's the B side open completely. But can they sniff it out? That's the question.
Yeah, if they know that there's a two-man setup, then they can isolate the player on B, especially with Rolf moving right back.
Dreamer,
got him the
insane.
kill.
What a
ZTR,
shot!
he's the sole defender here.
All by himself. Bubble's found him. 2v1 Fiends. They've completely changed the tide of this game.
I wasn't believing it, Pavlos. How have they done it once again with just Deagles, but they still have a fair bit to go? 2 players in pit, 1 in mini, 1 in actual pit. The Molotov to chase them through. This will still be a 1v2 and Dreamer won't even allow it. The man to be found in clutches. Time and time again.
I'm lost for words. I mean, Dreamer, he had a choice to pick up an AK-47 on site, on library or something like that, but no. It was like, I've got my Deagle. I'm all good. I don't need anything else. And I think he's proven that. He doesn't. He doesn't need anything else. Though what I want to see from Fiend is carry this onwards with a buy round, right? Because it seems like they've only been able to work out with pistols so far. At least for the past 4 rounds, the 2 that they've been able to win were with pistols. They need to follow things up. And considering that Young Ninjas have hit ground 0, this could be their chance.
I mean, I said that they just had to sign the package, but they might have forgotten the
Ooh,
pen.
Fizzy.
Fizzy's coming right around, though. If he's left unchecked, that could be a lineup.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Massive
Too many players.
opportunity dropped. Catches the AWP player Harn, though. His AWP will not be picked up because he's been intercepted. It's Rolf and Sapek now in hot pursuit. Well, actually, not in pursuit of anything. They're in pursuit of saving their guns.
Absolutely. I did think that Fizzy could have had more impact if Fiend lingered a little bit longer. 2 or 3 seconds could have given him a nice little backstab, but I love the way that they just aggressed forwards. They were just like, snapped their fingers like, all right, let's go. Press W. We're going in. As you said, yeah, Rolf and Sapek. They could be in pursuit of anything, like pursuit of happiness, pursuit of saving, but it's definitely not pursuit of the site. It's over. It's going to explode any second now. And we'll be seeing Fiend regaining the lead.
That's interesting. Where we nearly counted Fiend out, they're a bit more favored now.
It's like they're smirking right now. They're saying, "You counted us out? Well, there you go. Look at
There
the
you
odds as
go.
well.
Look at
Pinnacle."
the odds, man.
Ouch.
Just gonna point that out as
1
well.
to 23.
Okay, they shifted a little bit, but holy moly.
Whack-a-mole. Definitely a lot better than the last time we saw them on Inferno, right? 16-4 was where Young Ninjas was able to win. And it looks like both teams have been able to correct their mistakes, but Fiend was more successful in doing so. Can they close things out here? Young Ninjas, again, with just Deagles, pistols, 1 M4 onto Sapix, the only rifle they've got going on for them. Victor looks to push on through. 1 kill connects, goes for the swing. 2 players there, he's got the core. Nate's come through, that could be the closer. No, just there's a little bit of damage on both ends. ZTR, damage down. Red Star sprays down through the wall, able to close things out. Bobble as well chimes in onto Sapik. That's going to be the B site take. As Fizzy and Nilo, again, all by themselves. The only thing they can do is try and salvage a weapon or two. But apart from that, this is going to be Fiend on map and series points.
How have they gotten this level of comfort all of a sudden? Fiend, they looked out. They were out of it. The odds surely reflecting it. But I think faith has been restored in the Fiend roster. And, oh, this is tricky. They don't have the big gun on Fizzy. They are lacking... They're lacking head armor on a few players, so getting tagged through the walls is an even bigger concern. They don't have full utility on Nilo and ZTR, so although it's not a terrible buy, yes, but with some of the firepower missing, with them already struggling against Fiend this much, it's a big question mark. Fiend, almost ready to close it out, but I still have faith. I still have hopes that Young Ninjas can take it to Overpass. The potential
Definitely
of
not
an
over till it's
decider.
over, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I think what you were going to say, and I guess I can finish off that sentence, is that Young Ninjas, they like the idea of a decider. They know it's within their possibilities. They just need to persevere when it comes to the mental positioning right now, because they can't be too happy. The pressure is on. Fiend are no stranger to closing out maps. Young Ninjas just need a strong stand, and they've got the right amount of players towards this A site to deal with this onslaught.
I think Fiend might have waited too long. This is Young Ninjas' opportunity. Boosting right up above the smoke. That's an opportunity that they will be happy to take,
Oh,
but the
dear.
boost been intercepted. Sapik wants to run away with his tail tucked because he's only on 2 points of health. Bubble coming in around the corner in lane. He's picked up the first one. ZTR tagged as well. Nilo could be the last line of defense in apartments. He's struggling. He's desperate, but that only remains. There only remains Rolf, who's coming in hot from mid. This has got to be GG, Pavlos.